Tommy Fury, man. The guy just keeps shooting himself in the foot, saying one thing but doing another. And of course, he's at it again. First, he entertains a possible exhibition with Roy Jones Jr., showing and proving that he's really not done with the BS just yet. And now, when asked about another influencer fight, here's what he had to say.
How can you not say I'm the best in that scene? But I don't even want to be in that scene. I don't even want to be in that scene.
I was going to ask you that. Are you done with all that now?
No, I'm not done with it, definitely. No. Mate, it's very nice, actually. It's very nice, mate.
I
like it.
Quite lucrative.
Yeah, it's lucrative, mate. Yeah. But in terms of all the crap that comes with it, you know, I'm not about that. You've seen me on the build-up to these fights. I'm not interested. And Logan Paul, listen, if he wants some, he can get some. And I'll give him another loss. Not that it makes a difference. He's lost every fight he's ever had.
You'd fight Logan Paul, would you?
I'll fight Logan Paul today. Out there, on that lovely view of that park there, straight there by the waterfall. I don't even think about men like Logan Paul. Like, I'm the type of guy to go down and fight Logan Paul after 20 pints of beer. He's not a fighter. Jake, on the other end, he prepares and he trains and he's got the mindset of being a fighter. Logan Paul is a wrestler, he's a YouTuber, he's an actor, he's whatever. He's not interested in fighting, and I can see that for his last performance. So, Logan will never fight me because he doesn't want a death wish. Because putting him in front of me, I'll tell you now, is a death wish for him. So, if you got any balls about you, mate, you know where to find me.
So here's the weird thing. He starts out by saying, how can you not say I'm the best in that scene? And says he doesn't want to be a part of that scene. Let's be real, Tommy Fury, you do want to be a part of this scene, which is why you competed in it not only once, but twice. And now that you're entertaining to compete in it again. So you are happy to be in the scene. And I could be wrong, but wasn't he on some type of dating show or something like that? Some like reality TV dating show? So you do want to be a part of this scene. Don't sit here and act like, you know, you too big for it now. Come on, man. You a part of the scene and you know you want to be. It's not just for the fame and for the attention. And just like you said, it is very lucrative. You are gaining a lot of money. Let's be real. I didn't expect him to go back to professional boxing and fight in the rankings, because he wasn't going to make nowhere near, probably not even 10% the amount of money he's making fighting these influencers. And fighting these influencers is probably going to be an easier fight for him. Whereas if he were to fight in the pro boxing scene, he's going to have to up the level of competition over and over and over again. And as you've seen from his fights with these influencers, he's really just not that good. Or at least as good as he might think he is, or at least as good as he might promote himself to be. So, you know, what's the best way for him to get in some fights, keep the fame, keep the popularity, you know, keep people talking about him and make the most money possible doing it? Go to this influencer scene and fight these influencers. Hence why he now is calling out Logan Paul. But now, before we get into that matchup and talking about that a little bit, I just don't understand why before the fight he said he's done with the influencer scene. He's killed it. He's done with the BS. He's moving on. But then he's still entertaining it. It just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. This guy just constantly goes out, tells people maybe what they want to hear or what he thinks they should hear, and then goes and does the complete opposite. And it's not only with that, but it's also when he talks about his fights. He says he's going to knock Jake out. That fight is going to be easy. He struggles with Jake, pulls off a clear victory, goes in, fights KSI. Not a very clear victory, could go either way. Very, very controversial decision. When leading up to that fight, he was saying it was going to be the easiest fight of his life and he was going to make it look easy and he was going to knock KSI out. I'm a spark him out, is what he was saying. And then he struggled yet again with another YouTuber. And now not only is he calling out yet another YouTuber, but a YouTuber that's less than the last two that he fought. So it is very clear that he is not done with the BS just yet. But what I will give to him is I do understand that he is tired of the possible buildups to these influencer boxing fights. He knows that, you know, it's influencer boxing. They're heavily leaning towards the entertainment. So every fight he gets in, it's going to be this constant, you know, back and forth, these crazy press conferences where he's got John Fury just embarrassing the hell out of him. You know, John flipping tables, jumping up, screaming, taking his shirt off, showing off his man tits. You know, he probably doesn't want to be put in too many of those situations where he just constantly gets embarrassed by his own father, which, you know, I can understand that. He wants to stay out of the drama, but it's clear he wants to stay in this influencer boxing scene as long as it's, you know, less of that little drama and build up and, you know, having to put on this big old tough guy thing with some YouTuber. And also, Logan isn't a fighter, right? Tommy Fury is right about this. He says Logan isn't a fighter. He's not a fighter. Logan isn't taking this very seriously. He probably doesn't really train much, hardly ever. And you can see it from the Dillon Danis fight. He definitely looked a lot worse than he did against Floyd Mayweather. So yeah, Logan Paul definitely doesn't take boxing seriously. Definitely not like Jake does. So Jake Paul would be a much more dangerous fight for someone like Tommy Fury. But here's what I don't get though. He said straight up, I would go down to fight someone like Logan Paul, and he's not a boxer, he's not a fighter. Then why are you calling him out? You know what I mean? If you're this great boxer, right? If these guys are so bad and, you know, the influencers got nothing on you and you're the king of it, why not go entertain a rematch with Jake Paul or even a rematch with KSI? I understand the fight was, you know, very not fan friendly, and to the point where a lot of people probably won't want to see that fight again. You know, it would make more sense to call out Jake Paul or KSI so much more than it would be calling out someone like Logan Paul, who has literally never won a fight. I mean, yeah, he beat Dillon Danis. We could say that he beat Dillon Danis, but that's a jiu-jitsu guy. He beat a jiu-jitsu guy that's much smaller than him. When it actually came down to it, Logan Paul really hasn't actually won a fight yet. So if the top influencers are already so below you, why would you go even lower than that in calling out Logan Paul? And then he ends it off with saying that Logan Paul taking the fight would be a death wish. And I don't know. If I'm Logan, I'm not gonna lie, I would laugh at this because yo, he talks a big game. Tommy talks a big game, but when he comes into these fights, man, he just, I don't know. He's like one of those guys, right, where they talk a big game, they look good on the pads, maybe they look good in training and sparring. You know, you come into the fight thinking like, yo, I got a fight on my hands. And then when he gets in the ring, you know, he just has a hard time really backing up all the words that he was saying. That's like what you see with Tommy Fury. He talks about knocking out Jake Paul. He talks about, you know, KSI being the easiest fight he's ever going to have, and he's going to make it look easy. And then he goes in there and he struggles with these guys and gets dropped. So I don't know. If I'm Logan, I'm not really taking that threat too seriously. But let me know in the comments, man. Do y'all want to see that matchup happen? Logan Paul is a bigger guy and a much more athletic, definitely a different type of fight than KSI and Jake Paul would be for Tommy Fury. But let me know what you think about that matchup. I'm going to talk about it for a little bit. So I'm not sure if it will happen because I'm pretty sure Logan Paul retired from influencer boxing. So I'm not sure if he's going to come back, but who knows? Maybe a fight with Tommy Fury will entice him to want to come back because it's a big fight. It's a big money fight. But the thing is, I don't think, like Tommy said, and that I agree with, I don't think Logan is a fighter. So I don't think he wants to take a big fight where he knows there is going to be risk. I don't think he's going to want to take a fight with Tommy Fury. Let's be real. We all know, and he knows it too. He definitely knows it too, that he's not as dedicated to the sport as he should be because he sees how dedicated Jake is. So he knows he's not as dedicated as Jake. So, you know, taking a fight with Tommy Fury is just going to be that much tougher for him. He definitely has the skills, the athletic ability, and all the tools that he needs to possibly be a good competition for someone like Tommy Fury. But his work ethic and his determination and dedication to the sport just isn't there. So I'm not sure how well he would do in this fight. And I'm not sure if he will even take this fight. But all I'm going to say is, let's be real, Tommy Fury. You're an influencer boxer. You're here to stay. Don't act like you ain't here or you don't want to be here. You want to be in the influencer boxing. Stop capping to everybody and acting like you too big for the influencer boxing scene when you're just another one of these influencer boxers. But of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, thank you all so much for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.